I'm the Spirit Keeper, and I give you a reason for every season. Today, we have just gotten the full Home Depot 2025 animatronic demos revealed. Let's talk about it. Yes, you heard me correctly. We have just gotten every single animatronic demo as for the manager meeting, and I'm so excited to talk about these. Before I do continue, I just want to give credit for these videos to LMJ Halloween. All the videos of the animatronics used in this video do belong to them, so full credit to them for these videos. But first up, I want to talk about the creepy snowman animatronic. This animatronic basically has a flickering orange light inside of it, and it looks really great, sort of like a flame effect. And then his head moves side to side, and then his arms move up and down. And I really love the look of this character, and I love the concept that we actually have a sort of creepy snowman animatronic. And I'm so excited to see this guy in person. The next prop is sort of a pumpkin prop. There's not too much to say about him. He just kind of has some side-to-side head movement. He's more of a beginner prop for Home Depot, and he has this very exaggerated hat, which is just kind of weird for him. He has these yellow LED eyes and then these very long and kind of unsettling teeth. But there is the pumpkin animatronic. Next up is the ogre animatronic, and I love this guy. I think he looks very good. He is indeed a reskin of Carnival Carl, kind of moving his club up and down, moving side to side. Then he does indeed have mouth movement. His eyes also have LEDs inside of them, and they kind of switch between a yellow and a red color, which I think is great. And so far, I actually love this guy. I'm very excited to see him in person, and when we do get a full exclusive demo video from Home Depot. Next up is a 15-foot scarecrow, and we don't get a great look at him from here, but we do know that he does have side-to-side head movement, even though I'm not seeing this in this video. But we will have to wait and see until we actually do get a demo from Home Depot. He might have just been broken in this video, but time will tell with the 15-foot scarecrow, and so far, he is also one of my favorites from Home Depot this year. Next is going to be the 6.5-foot digital skeleton prop. This thing is absolutely insane. It's such a tech-savvy prop. Basically, he turns side to side, and then his right arm is actually a servo, and it can move up and down, and sort of side to side also. And then his head is also servo. He has these awesome LCD eyes, and then his ribcage can actually be lit up any color that you do want. I don't know the options that they are, but I love this guy. Not one that I would pick up, but I love the animation that he does have. You can also choose the phrases that he does say within an app. Yes, you heard me. You can actually sort of program this guy within an app. So I am so excited to get more details on this 6.5-foot skelly. Next up is probably my favorite prop of the year, and this is going to be the new Servo Witch. She looks phenomenal. I absolutely love her. She's holding this sort of broom with a crow on top of it. She looks so sinister and evil. I just love it. And then her left arm actually is servo, and it kind of moves like out, like where her kind of elbow starts. It kind of moves like out and stuff. I just absolutely love how she is. Her head is also servo, I do believe, and she has mouth movement, and she has these light up LCD eyes, and they actually kind of blink. There is 8 different options for her eyes, and in this demo they are on the cat-like eyes. But I'm just so excited to actually see this witch in person, and this is probably going to be one animatronic that I do pick up. Next up, we have one of my most highly anticipated props, and this is going to be the skeleton crawler. Now seeing his demo, I am a bit torn. He does crawl very slowly, and he doesn't go back and forth like I did expect. As he crawls forward, his arms move up and down, and then as he gets closer to the guest, he kind of lifts his head up, tilts it back, and then his mouth opens, which I do love. But it's just his forward crawling motion is so slow, and I'm very torn between this prop if I should get it or not. He does also have LEDs in his eyes and his rib cage, so that is very cool. It does kind of shuffle through LED lights as he does crawl forward. We have like a red, blue, and purple, and green. So I do like to see that. I want to know if you can choose one specifically, and like if you can keep it on that. But so far, I am very torn on the skeleton crawler. Next up is going to be the Killer Easter Bunny, and the Jack-in-the-Box clown. First, I want to start with the Easter Bunny. He looks phenomenal. I love him. Definitely one of my favorite props from the year. I love his bent bunny ears, his super furry face that just looks amazing on how realistic it is. I love his smile, those yellow LED eyes, and then he's actually holding a cane that like he's kind of standing with, which I think is great. In the video, he does appear to be broken, so we will have to wait to see an official demo video for him, but so far, I love the look of this guy, and I'm very excited to see what he does look like. But then right next to him, we do have the brand new Jack-in-the-Box clown for the 2025 season, and this guy looks phenomenal also. I absolutely love how the concept is that he's actually kind of twisting the Jack-in-the-Box handle, and then as you expect something from the Jack-in-the-Box to pop up, that spring mech in his neck just launches at you. Such a great jump scare and very unexpected. And I love that he is actually blacklight reactive. That is just so great. And the face sculpt looks amazing. He has those LEDs in his eyes. I just love this guy. I don't know if I will pick him up because I do have a good variety of clown props, but definitely one of Home Depot's greatest clown props of all time. Next up is going to be this new killer Leprechaun for the 2025 season. I love how this guy looks. He's just a very fun prop in general, as we don't typically get holiday-related props in the Halloween market, specifically with animatronics. But this time with this killer Leprechaun, he does have yellow LED eyes, some mouth movement, and then he moves his hand with the axe up and down. And then he does actually move side to side, and I really love the look of this guy with that green jacket and the green top hat. Really complements his character, and I love the little coin bag he's holding. But overall, I am very excited to see this guy in person, just like a lot of the other props. Next up is the Plague Doctor animatronic, and I love the look of this guy. I think it looks so great. I love the kind of beat up Plague Doctor mask. Compared to the one we got last year, I do think that this one is an improvement. And I love the red LEDs he does have for his eyes. And then actually in his mouth, he does have mouth movement and side head motion. But when he does talk, a red LED kind of flickers on and off inside of his mouth, which I think is great. And then he kind of shoots out the staff towards you, similar to the Plague Doctor animation that we did get last year. But I do think that this guy is definitely better. He also has this lantern for added light in that also flickers. And then the staff that he's holding is kind of a chrome color, silverish. And then that skull on the staff is also lighting up white. Next up is Tiffany and Chucky. They are very advanced animatronics with technology. We are seeing another Chucky this year that is a scarred variant, and I really like it. And he's being tagged along by his bride, Tiffany, which I think is great. Chucky's animation is basically where both of his eyes look around, and then his swollen eye blinks, which I think is awesome. He has a mouth movement, side-to-side movement. Then he kind of almost tilts back in a way to kind of give it the effect that he is looking up. Same with Tiffany. She has the same animation, side-to-side movement, side-to-side eye movement, and then her eyes blink. And she also kind of leans back to give it the effect that she is looking up. But overall, I love the look of both of these animatronics, and they are definitely going to be top sellers for Home Depot this year. Next up is going to be the Gravedigger animatronic, and this guy looks great. I love the sack on his back, the shovel that he's holding, and the dirt mound that he is on, and the overall face with that green tint is great, and that type of leather jacket and leather clothing looks great. But the best thing about him is probably his very subtle jump scare. Is in his dirt mound that he is standing on, there's a little skeleton head that does pop up and have some red LED eyes. And the skeleton head does actually look very good, and I'm very surprised with that. And his head does, and his foot, does kind of lift up as the skeleton does pop up. So I think that is a very cool added factor to this Gravedigger prop. Also, he does have some mouth movement, which I think is very cool. But besides that, he does have some red LED eyes, and that is mainly it for the Gravedigger. We now have a demo for these witch animatronics that I did interpret to be the high-tech servo props, but they actually aren't the high-tech servos. They're pretty much generic witches. They kind of just have some mouth movement and some LCD eyes. And then the one that's actually stirring the cauldron, she moves the stick in the cauldron kind of up and down to give it that effect that it's stirring. And then the other one is holding a possum. These two definitely aren't my favorite from Home Depot this year, but they definitely aren't my least favorite. I do like their faces. I do believe that they are made of latex, but there are the witches. Next up is going to be this new barber prop. Now, I did sort of cover him in my last video, and I did interpret that he was a sort of scientist, but he is indeed a barber, and he kind of moves his head side to side, and then his right arm, he kind of moves his hand up and down, kind of giving that effect that he's trying to cut somebody's hair in a way, which I think is very funny. And he actually is holding like proper barber material. He's kind of holding those clippers and a comb. I think this prop does look really good, especially with his red LED eyes. But besides that, I'm not a huge fan of him, but we will have to wait and see for an official demo, and especially his price. Next up is going to be this butcher prop. Now this butcher looks very nice, and I really like him. He has these yellow LED eyes, which I think look great, and he kind of turns his head side to side, and he has a reskin of Soul Slasher. So he basically just moves his arm up as he sort of points in at the guest. I don't really get the whole concept. I do really like how he looks though, as that type of butcher pig. And this isn't one that I would personally purchase, but I do really like the look of him, and I would love to see him in stores. Next up, we have a demo for the Fisherman animatronic, and basically he kind of rocks back and forth in his chair. He has some mouth movement and then some red LED eyes, kind of what we expected for the Fisherman prop, so I'm not going to go super in depth with him. I do like that he does actually have a necklace with a shark tooth on it. I think that is a cool added factor, but there is the Fisherman. We can see a look at the pirate ship. Now, all the animation is that the pirate skeleton does turn the wheel, and that's basically it. I did already cover this, so there is the pirate ship. Next up, we have this sort of Grim Reaper character, and he does have some red and yellow LED eyes kind of mixed together, and then also in his hood, he kind of has like sort of like icicle things almost being lit up also with red LEDs, and same with his mouth. Whenever he opens his mouth, there is also a red LED in there. He does have mouth movement, and then he is holding a scroll that also lights up yellow, so a lot of added lighting with this prop. Not one that I would purchase, because this is one of the more affordable props for Home Depot this year, as they usually do have one each and every year, but there is the Grim Reaper. Next up is going to be the zombie stack. And now you can actually remove these off of each other, and they all have these LCD eyes, which look great. They all have mouth movement. I love it how like they're not very gory, but I do like that they are gory. And then the one on the top does have a baseball bat that he does move up and down. So I am very excited to see these in person, because I don't know how tall they are. Probably around Trickster Trio's height, but I do like that they kind of talk between each other. Finally, a highly anticipated prop, being Frankenstein's bride, is also a very tech-savvy animatronic, just like Frankenstein. She does have a servo head, and then her eyes do kind of blink, and they have a white LED inside of them, and she does also move side to side. I love that all the technology put into her really makes her a great prop, and I'm so excited to see her in person, just like the rest of these animatronics. But that is it for the Home Depot 2025 manager meeting. There are all the demos. Let me know what you guys think about them down in the comments below, and let me know if your opinions changed on any animatronics, because mine sure did. But anyway, make sure you remember that I'm the Spirit Keeper, and I give you a reason for every season. Bye.